TUMAD has adopted the principle of conducting world-class mining activities by realizing occupational health and safety rules and good practices of environment in its operations. Our company has documented its commitment to this principle, with certificates obtained as a result of comprehensive audits by internationally authorized organizations. Our mine sites are subject to the provisions of the Regulation on Prevention of Major Industrial Accidents and Mitigation of Their Effects, and have been designated as high-level organizations, and all necessary documents and safety reports have been prepared for this regulation requirements. As part of the high standards we have set and the certificates we have received, we expect all our employees, sub-employers, suppliers, and visitors to sensitively comply with a series of life-saving rules accepted all over the world. We have summarized these precautions for you under the title of 12 Life-Saving Golden Rules. Golden Rule 1. We always work in full compliance with our company policies. Visitors, sub-employers, and supplier employees are expected to work in full compliance with TUMAD policies during their stay at our mine sites. You will be welcomed by our security staff at our entrance gates and will be guided about the entrance procedures. Entrance of vehicles into our mine sites is subject to permission. Vehicles that meet the necessary conditions and are allowed to enter our mine sites with special permission must be parked in reverse in the parking areas. People who have not got occupational safety training are not allowed to work in our mine sites. To avoid retraining at the entrance of the mine site, you have to show the previously obtained entrance approval that downloaded from www.tumad.com.tr before you visit. Our OHS teams also provide the training to the employees who will be assigned to our operations. Employees are not allowed to start work without this training. Visitors and employees who come to the chemicals-containing areas in the process plant department are also given cyanide information and awareness training. People who have not received this training are not allowed to enter these areas. In our mine sites, except in green areas, it is mandatory to use personal protective equipment. If you are a visitor and do not have personal protective equipment, you can temporarily obtain it from our mine sites. Upon completion of the security procedures, visitors are issued visitor cards, and employees of sub-employers and suppliers are issued entrance cards after approval by our Health and Safety Department and Human Resources Department. It is obligatory to carry this card visibly on you during your stay in the mine site. Do not act within the mine site without the approval of the relevant department supervisor. Do not enter work areas that do not belong to you without permission, and obey all instructions of your supervisor during your stay at the mine site. Golden Rule 2. We always come to work healthy and rested. Entry to our mine sites under the influence of alcohol and drugs is strictly prohibited. Everyone or anyone who is suspected of being under the influence of alcohol is given an alcohol test at the entrance to our mine sites at random periods. TUMAD works within the scope of SA 8000 Social Accountability Standard. In this context, our basic principle is to protect employee rights with an effective management system and to establish and improve workplace rules. Firearms and sharp objects are strictly forbidden to enter our mine sites. A body and belonging search is carried out by the security department at the entrances to our mine sites. If you have a registered firearm, the security department will lock it up at the security gate with an official report and keep it until the moment you leave. Unauthorized video recording and photography is prohibited in the mine sites. Golden Rule 3. We always regard and obey health and safety signs. Health and safety signs warn, guide, and inform employees in our mine sites. Accidents and injuries are prevented, and employees are informed about potential hazards by using these signs. All health and safety signs throughout the mine must be obeyed. Red-colored signs mean prohibitory signs, hazard alarms, firefighting equipment. Yellow and orange-colored signs mean warning signs. Blue-colored signs mean obligation signs. And finally, green-colored signs mean emergency exit, first aid sign, and safe areas, no danger. Golden Rule 4. We always share our health, safety, and environmental suggestions, hazard, and good practice observations. Employee participation are ensured in all activities, especially in the OHS management system. Employees are expected to contribute to decision-making processes regarding OHS performance measurements and proposed changes. Necessary information is conveyed to employees through regular meetings and employee representatives. Employees also participate in efforts to present hazards and risks. Anything that has the potential to cause harm or damage that may affect the employee or the workplace is called a hazard. The possibility of loss, injury, or other harmful consequences arising from the hazard is defined as a risk. In order to ensure that these hazards and risks are identified in advance and measures are taken, notifications are shared with the OHS and environmental observation form in our mine sites. You can also use these forms to notify us of your suggestions for improvement, unsafe conditions, and unsafe acts or good practice observations. To contact us, simply send the forms in the OHS and environmental observation form boxes in our mine sites. Golden Rule 5. We always give priority to keep our workplaces tidy and clean. Lack of tidiness and order is the basis of many hazards revealed in risk assessment studies. Therefore, in order to create and maintain a safe work environment, working conditions should be evaluated in terms of performance, comfort, occupational safety, and cleanliness, and the continuity of order and tidiness should be ensured. Golden Rule 6. We always identify the risks and start to work after taking the precautions. Sub-employers and suppliers who will work in our mine sites must obtain a written pre-approval for the hazards of the work they will perform. The precautions to be taken against these hazards, the equipment and procedures they will use with the method statement form, which will be shared with them by TUMAD before starting work. For tasks that do not have a procedure or instruction, it's mandatory to prepare a job safety analysis form before starting work. Job safety analysis forms are used to identify the significant hazards and risks associated with a specific work to be performed, and to determine the actions to be taken before, during, and after the work. Tasks for which a procedure, instruction, or job safety analysis has not been prepared are not allowed to start. In case of detection, the work is stopped. Golden Rule 7. We always take work authorization and work permits before starting to work. Sub-employers and supplier companies that will work in our mine sites are required to fill out the Work Authorization and Work Permits form, which will be shared with them by TUMAD. With these forms, approval is requested from the relevant TUMAD departments before starting tasks that require permission. Tasks that receive a positive response are started immediately. Tasks for which approval is not given or permission is not obtained are not allowed to start. In case of detection, the work is stopped. In the realm of possibility that very serious accidents can occur when working with energy types such as electricity, mechanics, pneumatics, and hydraulics. For this reason, it is of vital importance to identify the points that need to be deactivated in the Work Authorization and Work Permits form, and to prevent accidental activation. In this context, lockout, tagout procedures are also performed. At the end of the work, the personal lockout tag and safety padlock must be removed only by the employee who is locking tagging. It is forbidden for employees to work under someone else's personal lockout tag and safety padlock, and to remove someone else's lockout tag and safety padlock. Golden Rule 8. We always fulfill the requirements of all our procedures and instructions. Procedures and instructions have been established for the activities carried out in our operations. Quarterly test and tag system is applied for the electrical equipment and lifting apparatus safety in our mine sites. Within this system, there is a different color tag for each period. It is forbidden to use equipment that does not have a tag color that covers the period it represents until it is checked and the tags are renewed. Make sure that you use hand tools correctly, that you have proper personal protective equipment to protect you from the risks you may face while using hand tools, and that your working environment is free from moisture, humidity, and explosion hazards when using power tools. In high or deep areas where there is a level difference and where injuries may occur as a result of falling and slipping, take all necessary collective and personal protection measures before starting the work. Do not perform work at heights or depths without completing the precautions and work permits specified in the job safety analysis. Strictly follow the safety instructions specified by your supervisor during work. Inform employees about the potential causes of accidents and provide them with foresight and awareness before an accident occurs. Repetition of all accidents and incidents must be prevented. For this reason, immediate reporting of incidents is very important for accident and incident investigations. Accidents and incidents that occur while working must be reported to TUMAD. Golden Rule 9. We always work while fulfilling the ergonomics and industrial hygiene conditions. In order to ensure that the health of employees is protected and maintained in the working environment, occupational hygiene measurements are performed in work areas. Employees participate in deciding the measurement areas. It is mandatory to comply with the measures to be taken according to the measurement results. Work environments are ergonomically analysed and organised to prevent occupational accidents and occupational risks arising from ergonomic conditions, to ensure that employees use less physical force, and to improve occupational health and safety performance. Even though working with display screen equipment is seen as risk-free, it actually involves many risks. Improper positioning of the keyboard, improper waist, back and knee angles, working for long periods of time, inadequate lighting, improper thermal comfort conditions are the main risk factors that we may face while working with display screen equipment. When working with display screen equipment, necessary precautions should be taken to reduce risks. Employees should do office exercises with short breaks to protect themselves from the negative effects of desk work. Work plan should be organised so that manual handling of loads in the workplace is not necessary as much as possible. In cases where manual handling of the load is unavoidable, manual lifting and transportation methods should be applied to reduce risks. Risks related to the load to be lifted, the employee who will perform the operation, and the work area where the activity will be done should be analysed. Manual lifting and handling should not be done without making the necessary adjustments. You can contact TUMAD OHS departments to get information about the necessary precautions before manual handling works. Golden Rule 10. We always store and use chemicals as according to their safety data sheets. It is mandatory to fill out the chemical assessment form and obtain approval from the Safety Department, Environmental and Sustainability Department, and Health Department before starting to use chemicals in our mine sites. Please note that no chemicals will be allowed to enter and use our mine sites before the approvals are completed. Please know and apply the precautions specified in the chemical assessment form. Golden Rule 11. We always determine our personal protective equipment according to the task and use them fully. Precautions are taken according to the hierarchy of hazard control to prevent the risks. If you cannot completely eliminate the hazard or reduce its effects, or if the use of personal protective equipment is mandatory in risk assessments, start working using the necessary personal protective equipment that is certified, approved, and selected according to the task. Golden Rule 12. We always care about the road safety when operating the light vehicles and heavy-duty equipment. The driving of vehicles within the mine sites is subject to permission in accordance with our procedures. In order for the vehicle to be suitable for safe driving, please fill out the daily vehicle checklist to be given by TUMAD before driving. Vehicles to be used in our mine sites are subject to the vehicle approval procedure. Vehicles without a vehicle approval sticker are not allowed to be used in the mine sites. People without safe driving training are not allowed to drive in our mine sites. You can contact TUMAD Road and Traffic Safety Specialist for detailed information on vehicle approval. When driving in our mine sites, please follow the on-site driving rules. Warn the people around you with one horn before starting the vehicle engine, 2 horns before moving forward, and 3 horns before backing up. When traveling in a vehicle, it is mandatory for everyone in the vehicle to use their seatbelts. It is forbidden to talk on the phone, the hands-free system, or headphones while driving. It is forbidden for drivers and passengers to eat food and drink and to use tobacco products, as it may result in unsafe driving. Sanctions will be imposed by TUMAD in the case of violations of the rules set for driving safety in our mine sites. It is dangerous and forbidden to exceed the speed limits indicated by signs in the mine sites. Speed violations are detected by speed guns and vehicle tracking systems. There is a right-of-way rule in our operation areas. Right-of-way is as follows. 1. Ambulances. 2. Fire trucks. 3. Heavy-duty equipment. 4. Low beds. 5. Trailer trucks. 6. Dump trucks. 7. Personnel vehicles. And 8. Light vehicles. During chemical transportation to be performed in our mine sites, the road closures are organized at predetermined roads. In such a case, please follow the instructions of the flaggers. A safe distance of at least 25 meters must be kept between the heavy-duty equipment in operation and vehicles and pedestrians. It is mandatory to comply with the safe distance rule. Under normal weather and road conditions, the safe following distance between your vehicle and the vehicle that is in front must be at least 30 meters or 4 seconds. It is strictly forbidden to walk outside the walking paths announced within our mine sites. You will only be allowed to walk between areas designated as walking paths. In case of emergency, all emergency equipment must be checked and kept ready for possible emergencies. Do not leave vehicles or materials in front of the areas or places where emergency response equipment such as fire extinguishers, emergency buttons, fire cabinets, first aid supplies, and fire hydrants are located. In case of an emergency, follow the instructions to be given so that healthcare staff and emergency team can intervene as quickly as possible. In case of emergency, call 3 times by saying "Emergency" on the emergency channels of the radio. After your announcement is responded, take care to answer the questions asked clearly, without panic, for effective communication. In cases where there is no radio, report the emergency situation from the phone numbers used as emergency phone numbers in our mine sites. Please save these numbers on your cell phones. In case of emergency, go to the nearest emergency assembly area to your workplace and wait for instructions. Do not leave the emergency assembly areas until the emergency is eliminated or until the mine site is evacuated. Our emergency assembly areas belonging to our mine sites are as follows. Lapsiki Mine Site. 1. Vehicle parking area of main security gate. 2. Vehicle parking area of technical offices. 3. Dry tailing storage facility. 4. Contractor compound of open pit. 5. Front of the TAG boardroom. 6. Underground refuge chambers. Ivrindi Mine Site. 1. Laboratory area. 2. ADR plant area. 3. Heap leach office area. 4. Agglomerator area. 5. Switchgear area. 6. Maintenance workshop, process office area. 7. Crusher area. 8. South Guest House and Offices area. 9. Open Pit Site Offices. 10. Main Security Gate Area. 11. Administrative Building Area. 12. Exploration Offices. 13. Main Guest House Area. TUMAD's first priority is to implement occupational health and safety rules and good environmental rules without compromising. In this regard, your participation and support are all important. Let's create a safe and healthy work environment together.